Recent tragic events have highlighted the very serious consequences of bullying and cyberbullying. Our youth need access to resources to prevent these tragedies from occurring. Our kids now face pressures that really didn't exist when I was growing up in Turner Valley, Alberta. So I think sometimes as parents it's very hard to help our children because their experiences are so different than anything we had. We can't deal with our own experiences to help our children. I think that's a very scary as a mother.
Yeah, that was Lorraine Harper lending her clout to the campaign. The government hopes will apply peer pressure against bullying. For their thoughts, I'm joined by Allan Hubley. His son committed suicide after incessant bullying in 2011, a tragedy which, as you might recall, sparked a national uproar to do something. And the minister doing something, Heritage Minister James Moore, he committed $250,000 to help the Red Cross fight bullying earlier today. Allan, quickly to you. Will this be the sort of thing that might have helped Jamie before he killed himself?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Jamie had a lot of friends through the years at different levels of school, and if they had been trained on what to do in a case of bullying, you know, that I can't help but think that things might have been different for us.
James, I know it's a baby step, right? This is a start. How exactly will the program work, if you could explain it to people?
Well, it's one of many. This particular program is an idea that came from the Red Cross. So they said, look, we have an idea where we want to give students the tools so that they can reach out and help other students. Because very often, you know, a kid is feeling bullied. They don't necessarily want to go to an adult, or they don't want to go to a counselor at the school or go to a teacher. Maybe they want to go to a peer and say, look, this, how can we do this? And so the idea is to set up a peer process and a peer ability within schools that other students can help students when they feel like they're being picked on and bullied because of who they are, because of what they look like, or what have you. And you know, there was a tragedy in my hometown, Amanda Todd, who was bullied as well, to the point where she felt like she had nowhere else to go except to commit suicide. And very often these are kids who are isolated within school, don't have an obvious network of friends, and the idea is to create a support system of peers, of people that they can go to and help them. And in different communities and schools, it's a different dynamic. So the idea is to put the money out there and to build the networks that kids can help kids. And it's going to be an ongoing thing. This is one program out of many that we're going to be supporting going forward, because there's no one silver bullet solution to a complex problem. But I think it's a solid step forward, and we're glad to be working with the Red Cross.
If I do the math, it'll reach about 48,000 kids or 50,000 kids or something.
A little bit more than that, and then they themselves become mentors and partners.
So it's like a pyramid scheme, except to do good work, not scam people, right?
Precisely.
What do you think Jamie would have thought of this?
It's a good idea.
I mean, it's in his memory, more or less, and not exclusively him.
He was talking about getting the club going. He had made posters on that. What he wanted to do was bring the kids together to learn to respect each other. In his old high school, where my youngest still goes, they have what they call J Crew, and it's that idea, and this training is really going to help them. Like they learn how to do conflict management, you know, when it's safe to get in the middle of a situation, when you need to bring an adult in, you know, all those things kids can learn. This training will help. So 48,000 people, like, you know, I try to visualize that. That's a lot of people working on stopping bullying, and so this is a huge step forward on the issue, and I'm very at peace and happy with this today.
I mean, because Jamie's bullying was rooted in the fact he was trying to get these groups together, right? That was part of what was causing him.
Yes.
So, James, why is this not something that all 10 provinces are buying in on?
Well, different provinces are doing different things. I know in British Columbia, the Premier Clark has been really outspoken and vocal on this. She was when she was a broadcaster. She has continued that as Premier. Others have taken on this cause as well. But it's not just, there's no, as I said, one singular ingredient that'll fix all of this. This involves students. It involves a better understanding of kids, parents being involved. And as I said at the press conference, you know, parents often stand up when they feel that their kid's being picked on. But I think it's equally important for a parent to stand up and to challenge their kids when they see their kids being the bully, because they don't appreciate the consequence of what that means when a child is being picked on, because a kid could be suffering from depression or a sense of isolation, and these things have deeper consequences than kids may be able to calculate and appreciate in their young minds. And so everybody working together, calling out parents and getting them involved, getting parents and teachers and kids involved, it's complex, but we're learning. It's this social learning. This is social evolution, and I think it's a very good thing that we're all working together for the same purpose.
One thing that I think, something I didn't have to deal with when I was growing up, you're much younger than me, James, but it was cyberbullying, and that's something we're seeing with Amanda Todd in particular. She couldn't escape. and that's the hardest thing to do.
Jamie
Push
too.
Jamie too.
And I go around, I talk to kids at the schools and at community events and everything, and it's way too common, and it adds a really scary layer to it, because they can reach you right in your house or wherever you are. Like, when we were going to school, you could go home and be safe. That's not true.
You get beat up
anymore.
on the way sometimes, like I did all the time.
Yeah, but at least you knew where you were going. You were going to be safe. Now you don't have that anymore, and that takes away a big issue.
And it's torment. I mean, frankly, you see the anonymous comments, frankly, at the bottom of media websites all across this country, where people make fun of people in public life, or make fun of journalists, attack people in private life, and they do so anonymously. And it's something that's got to stop. It needs to be stood up to. No, we would never tolerate it. People doing it in the schoolyard. We would never tolerate people doing it in an arena. And yet people can just do it digitally. And as adults, frankly, are becoming more literate in technology and the impacts of social media, the more we're standing up and realizing that there's a huge wrong being perpetrated against our kids here. And I think we should all do our part. And I think, frankly, media needs to do more, and monitoring their websites, all of us need to do more. Twitter and Facebook, amazing tools for sharing information and getting people to understand things, but also there's an incredible danger there if these things are let to run wild.
Good luck with this program. I hope it works.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thanks, Don. Thanks for your support.